Hey, howdy. Well, this is awkward. So before I do anything else, I'm gonna download my save file because, things have happened. A lot of things have happened, so this is gonna be kind of a weird one. This is gonna be kind of a weird video for a lot of reasons. I don't even know if I want to do dailies today. I kind of just want to go to, like, a deep location, maybe like a location I haven't been to in a while. I don't know. I'll think of it. But yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about, like, some... I feel like I'm giving a divorce talk, but, like, I'm gonna talk about, like, some logistical stuff going forward, and then, I mean, business as usual. I'm gonna be yapping about, like, stuff that's been going on in my life. So, there has been some recent developments with the mod team, and I made, like, a YouTube post that goes into a little bit more detail about this. Oh my god, they're sleeping. Wait. This is adorable. This is the rarest iteration of this, I believe. I think I remember that being the case. But yeah, I go into much more detail about this in the YouTube post, but long story short, I'm no longer comfortable associating myself with this website, so this is going to be the last YNO video I do for... ever? Questionably? A while, at least. And it sucks, but it is what it is. Like, and I like gave my piece about like what ended up happening there and why I came to that decision. So, I mean, I'm not gonna bring down the mood. If you want to know more about that, you can go and read it. But I feel I'm less broken up about it than I probably should be because I've been doing this for a while. And you know, I still do like this. I still do like this setup. I like this community. It's gonna be weird to change, but you know, change isn't necessarily bad, especially since part of the downside of locking myself into doing stuff with Yume Online, or just Yume Online in general, is that it's kind of limited my options for what fan games I could play. And with that out of the way, I mean, the world's my oyster. There's a lot of Yume fan games out there, like a lot, a lot, a lot. And I want to try and play more of them. Like, I want to push myself, especially now that I'm not in grad school, I'm way less stressed. Once I have a more consistent time frame to make videos, I'm absolutely going to do more of this, and... Ooh! I forgot that happened, that scared me. There's a lot of Yume fan games that I want to play, and I also eventually want to do that book club thing that I was, like, tossing around the idea for. No idea when that's happening. Because, like, anything that would involve, like, streaming and something that I can't record ahead of time would require a lot more planning. I'm just walking around Green Neon World. Hang on, let me go, go to a different place. I think I have an idea. But yeah, the main games that come to mind that I want to try that are Yume fan games is A, I want to try Dream Factory. I've heard way too many amazing things about that game. And like what few screenshots I have seen. Oh, let's go to Pansy Path, why not? This is Pansy Path, right? No, this is Oil Puddle World. Okay. Hang on. Oh, I guess I'm stuck in here. It's always hard to find a Valentine world somehow. I can never tell how far over to the right I have to go to find it. And let's see. Okay, yeah, I was almost there. I just need to go a little bit further to the right. But, I mean, this is going to be the last video for a lot of things. In particular, I want to use this opportunity to improve my recording setup, because you might have noticed when I looked over into the map setup is not the best. And that's just because everything is happening in the browser right now. once I refactor my setup, it's going to be a little bit easier to swap between different scenes. And one of those scenes I'm just going to have as the browser, but like actually cropped properly this time so that I can pull up full pages like that. Because the Yumatuki Wiki will always be there, and those all, like, most every world has those full page maps that I can rely on if I really need it. But yeah, Dream Factory is one that's been on my radar for a while because I keep seeing people posting like Yume Nikki Fangame GIFs about it, and it looks gorgeous. Like, it is genuinely one of the prettiest Yume Nikki Fangames I've ever seen, and it's not even in RPG Maker to my understanding, it's in a completely different engine. But it looks so nice, I need to try it. But Dream Factory is one. I kind of want to do a roundup of the remaining games on YNO that I haven't played yet, but, you know, like on my own time and not in the browser. But stuff like, I want to do more stuff in, like, She Awaits and Cold and If, I just have not touched at all. And, what are the ones that I haven't even touched? Cold, If, Love You, I forget what else. But there's a lot of options there, so I would be more than okay with, like, dipping my toes into those. I might even want to dip my feet into some of, like, the more weird, almost controversial ones. Like, I've always kind of wanted to play LC Dem and Yumeshiki, just to see how they are. I don't know if I'm just gonna do those off camera and just, like, regale y'all with, like, my experience of how it was, or if I'm gonna do it in a video, because I know people are kind of touchy about LC Dem because of the circumstances surrounding it. Or, I don't know how you pronounce it, if it's LC Dem, LCD Dem. I think it's LCD Dem. Because I think the text is it's Lucid Dream, but every other letter is removed, I think. Oh, this is Realm of Gluttony, right. Are there any connections from here? Pink Honeycomb. Okay, yeah, let's walk around in here. I do have a soft spot for natal stuff. But yeah, LCD Dem, I've always heard, is really, really good. But it's kind of difficult to justify playing it given the circumstances. So, I don't know, I'll have to think about that one. There's also the question of Yumeshiki, which is, also kind of a mixed bag. I've always heard good things, but I've also heard that it is 4chan's Yume Nikki fan game, so it carries that baggage. I gotta get a picture of this. I do love this scene a lot. Oh god, there's someone dead here. I didn't even notice. There's like a corpse here. The vibes here are unmatched. Okay, hang on. Where am I? Let me close these maps. Where am I going here? It's off in the other direction. Okay, cool. But there's so many games that I could potentially play because people really like making these Yume Nikki fan games. I'm very fond of these Yume Nikki fan games, if you couldn't tell. Like, just off the dome, Karasis is another one that I want to try. That was one that it's got, like, journal entries and stuff in it, if I remember correctly. It's got, like, text in it. If it's the game that I'm thinking of, which makes me very interested to see how and, like, the hows and whys of that. Okay, and remind me, this is Honeybee Labyrinth, right? Where does this spit me out? Honeybee Laboratory, right. This is a Derek location. which means that there's probably, oh yeah, there's so many, there's so many connections in here. Thanks, Adiragop. Hang on, let me pop back into Pink Honeycomb to see if there's anything else in here first, before I get lost in the Adiragop sauce. But another one that, like a couple more that come to mind is like Yume Graffiti. I've always heard good things. Sudo, I think it's oh, what is it called? Not Pseudo Regalia. I would have to check the name of it. There's another one that I've heard, like, stellar things about that I've never played myself. Oh, this is Celestial Knight. And there's a connection here from Nerium Lab that I think spawns a corpse, right? I seem to remember that. You know, sure. The Celestial Knight is a two-way connection, so if I want to, I can go back the other direction and do the Adiragop stuff. But there's so much to see, even with just Yume Nikki Fangames, there's a lot, but outside of that, there's also... I have so many ideas. I'm gonna be frank. I have so many ideas for potential things to do, potential games to play. And, like, I am overjoyed that I have a job that is not working me half to death. So, I have the ability to do these things. It's, you know... I'm thankful that I'm in a position with a job that respects the work-life boundaries. And I am more than happy to work with that and see where it takes me. I do like the aesthetic of this place a lot. Where does this connect to? Stellar Park. Where... Pretty sure I've been to Stellar Park before, right? Yes, okay, it's this area. I've been here quite a few times. It is really freaking cute, though. I like these NPCs. I like that rat over there. I don't know if I've acknowledged them before, but they're adorable. Is there anything else in here? I guess there's a couple of things. But one of my I was about to call it a New Year's resolution, but we're nowhere near New Year's. One of my resolutions for this summer is I want to do more game development. I want to like work out a better system for making progress on Linux, and I want to like fully commit to making games. Now, obviously, like I said, I'm still working a full-time job, so I can't guarantee that'll come fast or even be done by the end of the summer. But I want to try. I have a lot of really cool ideas. And I also have experience with making games before, so that should be fun. Because the one game that has been, like, prodding the back of my head for a long time now, I guess I can say years, is Antideus. My RPG, like, my Isaac mod that was an RPG concept. I have been thinking about that, I've been thinking about the work I did for that, like, on a monthly basis, ever since I initially made it, because I had so much fun. And I want to keep doing it. So like, I want to keep doing it, I'm in a situation where I can dedicate time to ridiculous, long-winded activities, and by God, I'm going to. There's so much potential, and I also have friends that I know would be interested in helping if I were to follow through with the project. So I want to try it and see where it leads. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I want to have fun. And this is going to be a great way to have fun. Oh my god. Whoa, hang on. Have I seen this? Oh. What is going on in here? Oh, wait, is she looking up at me? Yeah, totally. Aw. Wait, that's really cute. I don't know what your situation is, but I wish you the best. I hope the bees take good care of you. But yeah, I've been doing more work on my job with the a regular expression nightmare. So the main thing that I've been doing is as part of my job, I've been helping with taking in a certain type of file. And the way that it works is that, like, we communicate with carriers send in specific files, and then we take that information from those carrier plans and, like, communicate that to clients. But currently, all of that data is, like, scattered to the four winds. That there is, like a couple of named places where those where that data is stored, but it's, like, more or less scattered throughout our like the big shared drive. And on top of that, even if we were to know where all of it is, like, we'd still have to process it all, which is especially a problem when it comes to the new stuff. Because ideally what I would want to make is some kind of system that can be trained on the summaries that already exist, and then apply that to the summaries that come in the future, just to, like, take the load off of the analysts that I'm working with. Now, if you've never heard me talk about stuff like this, you might think I'm talking about AI right now, but I'm not. Very intentionally, I'm trying to avoid AI, mainly because I feel uncomfortable using AI in a healthcare setting. Like, even within the company that I'm working at, there's a current AI initiative because, you know, the FOMO is at an all-time high of do it now or get left behind. And I could go on about how that is deeply unhealthy for, like, the entire working world, much less this industry, but I won't go into that in too much detail. But either way, ideally, I would use AI as little as possible, which means that instead, I'm putting myself through hell, and it is a hell of my own creation, and I can stop anytime I want to. But my goal is, I'm going to use a Python script to locate as many files as I possibly can to use as a dataset, and then create a set of regular expressions to match and sort all of the information from as many of those files as I can possibly manage. The last time I tried it, the last time I tried to aggregate files like that, I had ended up with a data set of around 4,000, and I feel like I can get that number higher, sort of. I would have to I'm trying to, like, cut down the number of false positives for getting the files as much as possible, because a lot of the files that I got are not related and are just have similar file names. But if I can cut down that number as much as possible, then my end goal, isn't this the bee queen, right? How are you doing? Can I interact with you? No, but they all turn to face me. I love that. So the goal is to get that number as high as I possibly can. Because I've rigged up a system where I can take a data set, run regular expressions on it to get data, and then track how many of those regular expressions, like by percentage, are working. The higher that number gets to 100%, the better I'm doing. Now, is it feasible for that number to be at 100%? No. I'm going to try and get it as close as possible with the full understanding that it's a losing proposition for some of the stuff, because some of the stuff is like, well, this benefit summary is just like one big set of images, it's not even text, so I can't use regular expressions unless I use some kind of like external system, like a oh, what is the acronym? ODT? ODP? One of those. It's a one of those like machine learning models that pulls text data from images. I would need to use one of those. And everything that I've tried of experimenting with ODTs has led me to believe that ODTs are really unreliable unless you tune them very carefully, and I don't know enough about how they work to like train them properly. I have friends who like work in and like do cyber stuff, so I need to pick their brain to see if there's like a cheat sheet I can look at for how to do this better. As it stands, it's not working very well. But even beyond that, a lot of the files that I got are just outside of the scope. Like I'm looking for benefit summaries, but if there's like a certain percentage of these are like dental only, or they're like all in Japanese, or so there's like some like weird edge case that makes them difficult leading into impossible to work with, then I don't want that in the dataset, because like why bother? Especially the one that's all in Japanese, because like what do I expect to get out of that if the end result is probably going to be that the analysts who I'm working with aren't gonna work on this they aren't gonna work on this client to begin with. It's like, why bother? May as well help them with the ones that they're actually using, right? I don't know if I've seen this world before. Organic chemistry world. Whoa! Hi? What are you? Big freaking thing. Wow, I do really like the vibe of this place. It is... Wow, okay. I think I see where I am, so I could... If I reroute slightly, I can head to Indeterminate Atrium. Yeah, I'm right here. So there's one more symbol that I'm gonna brush up against here, and then it is a right? Yeah, straight right to Indeterminate Atrium. There's a very good chance I get lost in here if it's anything like last time, because Indeterminate Atrium is huge. To my memory, this is the place that has randomized exits. I do not remember the mechanic. If I recall correctly, it's like there's like doors that lead up and doors that lead down, and yeah. There's doors that lead up and doors that lead down, and there's some way that you can like intuit where you're supposed to go next, but I don't really understand it. This place is cool though. I like the vibe. Oh, I'm back here. So I just went in a circle. But yeah, the end result of the project that I'm working on has been a huge blob of regular expressions, and if you've never worked with regular expressions before, this is something that I kind of want to go into more detail about in a, like, in video form, or like, either that or like a Tumblr post, like some long form thing where I can talk at length about how regular expressions are both really frustrating and also really, really, really useful. Because the trick with regular expressions is that regular expressions are a system for matching strings. And there's a whole bunch of special characters that you can use to customize it so that it matches, like, for example, if you wanted to match all iterations of 1 followed by a set of zeros followed by another 1. You could use a special meta character to denote a number of zeros. And then just a number of zeros, 1. And you'd represent that as an expression like that. And the level of complexity that you can approach is, like, through the roof. There is so much, to the point of computer-like complexity in these simple expressions, just by continuing to iterate on them and making them more complex, introducing things like conditional statements and back referencing, and there's so much really, really cool stuff that you can do. It is complex, and it is not very human readable. So you kind of just have to try a bunch of stuff and see what works, with the full knowledge that it's never going to look pretty. And that's been my main project, is just, like, fiddling around with it and optimizing it to the small summary dataset that I have right now, with the hope that it will eventually be applied to a huge dataset that I can spend weeks pooling over and eventually generate a really good output. Just really, really high accuracy, always matching what it needs to match, and then my task is complete. I can just send it over to the analyst that I'm working with as a Python applet, because in recent memory, I learned how to use a library called PyExecutable, which, if you've worked in Python before, I recommend looking into it. It's very cool. It allows you to turn Python scripts into exe files, which is usually something that you can't do. Or I guess you kind of, I suppose there are other ways to do it, but this is, like, by far the easiest way to do it. And it's really helpful. It's really, really helpful. I love the way this area looks. But my end goal is to write the super complex Python script, package everything, put it out as an executable, and just share it in, like, a Google Drive or something so that anyone can access it. But do that, I need data. And this is something that, again, I sound like I'm talking about an AI model here, but is decidedly not an AI model, because I'm doing all of this code manually. It's not pleasant, but part of the reason why I've been very gung-ho about this... Damn it. Okay, hang on. I'm going somewhere else. Part of the reason why I've been so gung-ho about this is because there's no false positive rate with what I'm doing. It either produces the output perfectly or it produces nothing at all. And that's kind of ideal, because, again, I'm working with healthcare data here. The last thing I need is for it to produce a result that looks right but is actually wrong, especially if this is a tool that I'm going to be passing along to the analysts. I don't want to be the cause of, like, us losing a client or something, which, for what it's worth, this is a symptom of a larger issue in the working world, but I don't want to feed into it if I can help it. But, the reason why I've been doing this is because an AI model, specifically an AI model that's trained like an LLM, has a false negative rate as well as a false positive rate. And thanks to this wonderful and frightening thing called Bayes' theorem, if you have a system that has both a false positive rate and a false negative rate, and you want to know what the chance is of you getting a correct answer, that chance rapidly falls off. That's interesting. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I don't know if I know how you get around that. And so I'll leave. I'm at 30 minutes anyway, so let me backtrack and go to Scenic Outlook, and then I'll call it. I do want to go to I want to go back there eventually, because that is a I want to say that's a new Mapsuki location. I remember hearing about it, but I still have not explored it. Because if you go up in the other direction, it leads over to I think it's Upside Down Forest World, which has such a ridiculous amount of connections that it would be fun to start a day in there and just see where the evening takes me. Oh yeah, spider. I forgot about the spider's nest over here. And this, I think, is an endless void. I don't remember if there's anything at the end of that. But this is Scenic Outlook leading over into, like, power plant, right? What's on the other side here? Fairy Tale Woods. Yeah, another super old school location. Oh. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I haven't seen you. What the hell? That's gotta be a variable 44 thing, right? I've never seen that before. Alright, one more thing for the road. Let's do the Spider's Nest event. Alright. But yeah, that's all I got for now, I think. Let me make my way back to the Nexus, or to the Nexus. Let me make my way back to the computer. Save one last time and then download my save file. When next we see this game, it will be fully offline, and we'll see what we do with that information. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.